Hey, good morning. Coming up, the morning hustle tip. Hey, and there's Echo. Mornings in alive with Keith and friends. Welcome to Mornings in Alive, where excuse
When
Yeah.
something negative comes up.
Building muscle improves blood flow.
Nobody is expecting, John.
If the lady's saying that, you're duped.
be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? Is that
Good morning, good morning. We're back on the loop. Good morning, Enzo. Good morning, Nation. Good morning, Marty. Good morning, Jimmy. Good morning, John Andersen. Good morning, Tommy. Hey guys, we got a whole new setup here in the lab here. I got a lot of things going on, so hence a little bit of a delay here today. Big show, running a few minutes behind. We got a ton of topics today. Jorie Janzen joining us for the protein break, and Stephen Timoney is coming in for Community Corner. We're going to check in with Stephen later on today, but Jimmy, let's bring the boys in. We're running a little behind this morning. Let's bring the boys. Let's get the conversation going. What's going on, Marty?
What's up, man?
What's going on, Marty? What's going on, Jimmy? I got a whole new setup going on here. Just figuring it all out, actually, but it's all good. How are you, boys? What's going on today?
Doing good,
You got
man.
those.
How you
You got those glasses where you're recording shit on, don't you?
Hey, Meta. Take a
Is
video.
that right?
That's right, brother. And I'm recording you right now from the glasses. Yes, I am. And you know what we're doing, Johnny? We're going to do some live streaming into Instagram. I hope to get that going on later today or tomorrow. But the goal here is to do a behind the scenes of what's happening mornings in the lab from my point of view. So not only are folks shooting this way, but I'm shooting this way as well. So yeah, good times. I picked them up on the weekend. I got to tell you, boys, these are a game changer. They're actually game changer. They people don't. Johnny, you wear glasses, man. They change your life because you can look around and say, "Hey, Meta, stop."
But I'm very picky about the glasses that I wear. That's the problem.
I know you. Oh, by the way, Nation, we drop swears on the show, so if you guys got kids around, you might want to put the headphones in. We know, Marty. We know, Johnny. We can get Versace glasses with maybe some Ray-Bans there for you, right, pal?
Well, if you got Versace with the camera in there, now you've opened up the possibilities.
That's it. Hey, these are good old Ray-Bans, man. They're good. They're they're not inexpensive. They're not, they're quite reasonable. They cost me $400, and they take video, they take photo, a good point of view. They got speakers inside them, so you can listen to tunes nobody even knows. They're actually quite and there's no obstruction, frankly. They just kind of go about your day.
There's nothing wrong with Lexus, but I don't drive that one either.
Johnny Andersen bringing the nuggets this morning. Marty, how was your weekend this weekend, brother?
It was pretty good, man. Pretty chill. Watch some football. Watched the Commanders lose yesterday.
I figured you were going to bring that up. Yeah. So we had a big day yesterday in the world of sports. Looks like the Kansas City Chiefs are making their way back to the Super Bowl again.
No shit.
This is the farthest the Commanders / Redskins have gone in my lifetime. So
oh yeah.
I wanted them to go to the Super Bowl, man. But hey, we'll be back next year.
Johnny, how was your weekend, pal?
I'll be honest, it was real busy. Good weekend, but I'm a little punchy today because I'm fucking fighting off some sort of. Terry's been sick for a week, and I've been like getting through it. And this morning I woke up and I'm like, fuck, I can feel this thing got a hold of my shirt tail. So I'm digging, baby. I'm digging. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not going down. So I'm a little punchy today because I'm not taking any shit, including from this potential, whatever you want to call it, cold or.
Well, and I suspect you're probably a miserable son of a bitch if you're sick, actually, because I know I am. I'm suspecting you're like, just stay out of my way. Let me be sick. Let me get over it. Let me get back to normal. Am I correct, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because when I like to feel the way I like to feel, and I get frustrated and cranky, I don't feel that way. But then the flip side is what I'll do is I turn a positive out of it. Okay, I know I'm really sucking here. I'm really sucking wind. So I'll bust my ass and I'll extend my nap. So I find a positive in the negative.
Oh, there you go. All right, I'm not surprised. Hey, we got some great comments coming in this morning. We got Amy Reiner joining us from the hey, new camera angle up there. What's up, guys? Boom, boom, boom. We got Amy Reiner joining in us in the comments. We got Jeremy Cunningham. We got Mike Smart. What's up, Mike? I'll come knock on your door later today. So we got Gabriel Hida joining us today. Gabriel, where are you joining us from today? Joining the Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to help you guys get your ass going. We go 8 o'clock Eastern time all over the planet, and you can find us on every social channel around. We go 24/7. We are the only live conversation happening in the morning, and then we chat with you guys all across the social feeds. Boys, got a bunch of things to talk about here today. It's kind of a different type of show style, working through our as we continue to evolve the format. The format's not changing, just focusing on getting more conversations onto the table. I got a number of ones throwing to throw out there today for you guys. One of them is this whole idea that where is my little content here? So guys, scientists have just declared the midlife crisis dead. Why did you go through the midlife crisis?
I go through a midlife crisis.
Yeah. Have?
No, I mean, I think the midlife crisis for that guy that wakes up one day and says, what the fuck happened in my life?
Yeah.
And then he walks to the mirror, looks at himself, and he goes, well, you got really fucking good at saying I'm going to do it later. And I'm not that guy.
I know. Marty, I'm thinking you've had guys come through your gym that have gone through midlife crisis.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they always tell me, keep doing what I'm doing because I'm on the ball at my age. So that I was gonna say that kind of is what got me motivated. Just seeing the older guys and them making their mistakes.
Absolutely. Well, the happiness curve is dead. For years, scientists have sold us that the U-shaped happiness curve, that you're happy when you're young, you hit a slump in your 40s, then bounce back later in life. Boys,
I've never heard that before. What is that?
Well, it's this happiness curve where, you're young, you're all happy, Johnny. Then you get into your 40s and you're like, fuck, I'm in my 40s. I'm kind of miserable now. What's going on? Exactly, right?
That might be some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
You and me both. I'm not disagreeing with you, brother. I'm just
Jesus Christ.
telling you. But the data has, but that would explain, John, why there's a midlife crisis, right? You got these guys in their 40s that are waking up going, I want to go chase myself some young honey. I want to go get some young honey. And then they go to the 40s, 50s, and they kind of wake up. So it's kind of this curve, right? But the data, boys, has flipped. It turns out the younger generation, it's taking the harder hit. According to researchers like David Blanchflower and Alex Bryson, unhappiness now peaks earlier in life. So they're talking in your 20s, 30s, where in Marty, you're kind of waking up going, holy fuck, I got this big journey in front of me and I just don't know how to get there. Right? It's midlife isn't the bottom anymore. It's actually getting easier. And why are young people struggling, Marty? Blame the perfect storm: rising housing costs, mental health challenges, a changing in the work dynamics. And what used to be the quarter life crisis is now full-blown dissatisfaction. Young men in their 20s and 30s. Yeah, that's it. It's and then for the midlifers, it's good news. Because in our 40s and 50s, we got shit that's figured it out. Research is showing that your mindset about aging matters more than your age. Johnny, a positive outlook doesn't just feel good. It can add years to your life. And this is why it matters to us. So boys, if you're in your 40s and 50s, as Johnny would say, stop waiting for the wheels to fall off. Your prime years aren't behind you. They're what you decide to make them. So success is about showing up, staying in the game, rewriting your own goals. 20, 30, 40, 50, boys, midlife crisis out the table. Whether you're 25 or 55, the real win is owning your story. Yes, showing up every single day. That's it. There you go, boys. So there you go. The midlife crisis is dead. It's dead.
Well, I think part of it too is there's that breed of people, generations that were basically they were kind of bred to just go get a job, right? Go make some money. And now this new generation is being prompted to find what you want to do. And so, the whole idea of just zombifying is starting to, it's like it's being thought out, so to speak,
Well, so true. I think that's exactly it. Marty, what do you think when you hear that too, brother?
Man, excuse me. I got a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah.
You look at, we're growing up in a whole, not growing up, but we're coming up in a whole different era. I try to explain this to my mom, but she doesn't want to hear it.
Tell me.
Like the prices we have to pay for cars, car insurance, rent, mortgage is just different now. So it's kind of forcing a lot of people my age to get the side hustle and work on something that you actually do want to work on, right? So
Yeah.
if you started in your 20s, right, mid late 20s, 10 years into the game, you in your late 30s, you approaching 40. That's why I think life is changing for a lot of people, and it's going upward as they get older. I don't think people are hitting the midlife crisis because we're actually working. We're forced to work on things and do things that we want to do. Does that make sense?
It does. Absolutely it does. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I don't know if I went through midlife crisis. I went through figuring shit out late in my 40s. Obviously, I went through my divorce in my 40s, but I would say not my midlife, but my figuring stuff out, John, Marty, 38 to 40. That's when I started kind of recognizing that, okay, I was good at what I was doing with ICUC. I started gaining my own confidence, but boys, took me some time to get there, man. I wasn't some young punk figuring that shit out. That's for sure.
Dude, you went through a fucking A. I just sold my company for $50 million. What the fuck am I going to do now, crisis?
No, but
you know what though, Keith?
Yeah.
I was going to say, so if you said that I sold my company for 50 mil, I don't know what to do. I'm losing my fucking mind. People would demonize you for that.
Yes, but it's true though.
But it's true. It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Yes,
absolutely a real thing. Yep.
Martin, you've gotten to know. I hope I'm suspecting you've gotten to know me well enough in the last year. My family, me as a character, me as a human. Marty, I'll use some quick metaphors. I signed the check on Friday, got the bank account on Friday, put the money in the bank on Friday, woke up on Monday, empty and lost.
That's fucking
because
crazy.
that when you're on this side of the fence and you're driving and you're constantly improving, those numbers are they're just like a gauge of your success.
That's exactly.
You don't really look at the money. You had plenty of money along the way. But that 50 mil says, okay, this is how deep it goes on the measuring stick. Well, now you got to find a different stick to start, notching up.
Yes. Well, that's exactly because John, I grew up like you grew up chasing trophies, right? Chasing milestones. And it's like, okay, I achieved this milestone. I wanted to be a millionaire, I wanted to be rich. And I was like, okay, I got my check, went to the bank, cashed it, and then had my fun over the weekend. Monday, I was like, okay, so now what? And man, it's an empty feeling. And I got to think it's like winning a championship or winning a Super Bowl. It's like, okay, I've achieved it. So now what do I got to do? I'm only 38 years old, 40 years old. I got my whole life in front of me, right? So the point is,
but that's a great one, brother. Here's a great story about Jerry Rice.
Yes.
I can't remember what year it was. They won the Super Bowl. Somebody, I think it was Joe Montana, he said he had to come in and deal with something the next day. And he looks out on the field and there's Jerry the next day running routes. So it's not you won your Super Bowl, great. It's on to the next one. It's the top of the mountain. There's always another peak, and that's what people got to understand.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Look at Kobe. Everything he was working on. Rest in peace. When he retired, that's another example. Look at Tom Brady. Even LeBron now, he's working on an international league right now. He hasn't even stopped playing yet. So
I'm gonna throw the goofiest example on the table, but I was thinking about this morning after my run because Piper was over last night. We were having dinner, and Piper's gonna take over my TikTok account for me. So we're having some fun, making some content and shooting the shit about it. And I thought to myself, boys, the Rolling Stones are still getting after it today. So don't
unbelievable
about fucking retirement or sitting on your rocking chair. There's 4 90-year-old men, and I'm being exaggerative with my age, of course, but getting on the fucking stage, strapping on the old Stratocaster, and rocking out like it's 1935, and they would know different. So don't sit back and be a fucking lazy son of a bitch. Get up and get going. You know what I mean?
That's what keeps them alive. When you do the shit that keeps you alive, you don't get old.
That's exactly it. Yep. And you have to look no further than Mick and Keith and the gang because they're like, okay, I'm gonna go sing a song for 2 hours with a bunch of people that love it, and then I'll go down and chill out for there's power in that whole example, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a conversation with someone not too long ago. They were like, I just want to buy real estate and retire and chill on the beach. I said, that's not going to happen, right?
Well, they just have not. When you're on the side of the fence where you really haven't found success, you think all you got to do is get to the other side, and the rules completely change. No, the rules you still have the same rules. You still got to drive the things that make you happy. They're just bigger. They're just more zeros involved.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's so true. Yeah.
Yep.
Jimmy, we're not on Substack today, Jimmy, because I had 2,000 things going on and one of them had to fail and one of them was that. So that's what we're not on here today. But here's what we are going to do. We're going to go to the accountability check-in. Johnny's going to go take a little break. Marty's taking a break, and we're going to come back and keep the show going. There's a lot of topics to get into. We got a bunch of chatter going on. Good to have you there, Smart. Good to have you there, Amy. Good to see you, Scott Benzie. Nice to have you here, Scott. All right, guys, listen. Treat your body like the engine it is. The Bugatti, the Lamborghini, the Ferrari. Maybe it's a Lexus. Yeah, Johnny loves his Lexus. Because the body's driving your career. Yeah, it's true. Your fitness directly influences your career success. It's not just about looking good. It's about showing up at your best day in and day out. So when you are physically unfit, you're more likely to burn out, make poor decisions, and lose focus under pressure. Yeah, true story. So here's why it matters. That energy you got, it's going to fuel those results. The exercise is going to boost that productivity and focus, giving you an edge in those higher stake moments. Today's Monday at the Loop. Get going. I invite you to consider getting going because you know what? Stress, it needs an outlet. That physical activity you're going to get after today, it's going to reduce the cortisol. It's going to help you think clearly when everything feels urgent. And that confidence is going to win. So taking care of your body, it builds the self-confidence you need to walk into the meeting, walk into the room, hang out with all your buddies, getting after it. But here's how you're going to start. Here's how you're going to start today. Here's what I invite you to consider today, boys. Look at your calendar. Look at your day. Block time for fitness like you would a meeting. Why is the meeting more important than you? Doesn't make any sense to me. Aim for at least 30 minutes of movement sometime today. Boys, if you don't want to do 30, do 10 blocks of 3. Come on, Smart, get up, move it. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. You feel good after 10, 3 blocks? Do 3 more. You get 60 in the bank. Yeah. You got to prioritize that sleep. Yes, you do, baby. Your best work happens when you are well rested. You don't make bad food decisions. You don't make bad, lazy decisions. Get that sleep. It's only going to help you. Listen, your health, we talk side hustles on the show, but your health, not a side hustle. No, it's the foundation for success. That's it. That's the Mornings in the Lab accountability check-in this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, Jimmy, let's keep it rolling, brother. Let's keep it rolling. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Next up on the agenda today, guys, I got something else for us to get into today. It is, there's something for creators, I think. Jimmy, Walter, if you guys want to bring the gamma up, we're going to get into 8 tips on how to be confident in front of the camera. Because, John, you're good at it. Marty, you're good at it. But we've got people tuning in that wonder how they can be good at being in front of a camera. And I'm going to offer this up here, guys. Confidence on camera it's a skill you can build. Talk about how you can make it happen. The first of all is knowing your why. Right? Marty, when you do live content, John, you do live content, you guys create content left and right. You always get into this, why are you doing this? Are you here to inspire? Are you here to teach? Or are you here to entertain? When you know your why, the nerves disappear and the confidence steps in. Marty, thoughts on the whole idea of knowing your why when you're sitting down to make confident content and looking into the camera?
Yeah, man, the why is going to keep you going. If you're looking at it like I'm trying to get a quick buck, you're doing it to be cool or looking for a viral moment, it's probably not going to stick.
Yes.
But if you're doing it to, you're entertaining people, you're educating people. And like we just mentioned, if it keeps you feeling like you're alive.
Yes.
Right? Like me, I love it. I got to do my live show.
Yes.
It makes me feel like I'm living for something. So those are probably the 3 key reasons.
I like that. Then Johnny, practicing relentlessly, right? It's like anything, right? Confidence grows with practice. The more you record, the easier it gets. Don't wait for perfect, just start. John, talk about this idea of practicing relentlessly to give guys like I do, Johnny, that are nervous about getting in front of the camera and they don't want to practice. Talk about the power of practice, brother.
Can't hear you now, Johnny.
Oh, we lost Johnny's audio.
Yeah, we just heard you a minute ago. Did you mute yourself? Did you mute the mic? Because we just heard you a couple seconds ago.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So cool. We'll keep it going. John's going to get his audio sorted out. So Marty, it's all about practicing relentlessly, right? Confidence growing and just doing it over and over and over. And I know you and I are very comfortable with live. Marty, it's because we do it regularly and recognizing that, the other person on the other side knows you're live. And I think, Marty, in today's day and age, that people have a level of comfort and acceptance with that. There's this, holy shit, they're going live. Okay, there's going to be mistakes along the way, and I'm okay with that. Like, I don't know. I don't think people expect perfection, Marty, because we're live.
I wouldn't say, I can agree with that. If you think about anything else, though, think about an athlete.
Yes.
You're gonna see Steph Curry and LeBron do some of the most amazing things in the game, right?
Yes.
But in the same game, you'll see them get a dumb turnover. Like,
yes,
bro, you're a legend. What are you doing?
Yes.
So I guess that is kind of the same approach to the live here.
No, but that's a good point, Marty. Because you know what? Has LeBron ever made a mistake? Well, sure he has. Did Kobe make mistakes? Well, sure they have. Has Wayne Gretzky made mistakes? Well, sure they have. Right? It's accepting it. And it's acknowledging that, like, Marty, you think about all the hours of live shows we've done. So, guys, I like to use this metaphor with my kids all the time, right? So if we've done this many live shows, like with my arms like this, right? This many, and our mistakes are only this many, like, really, you know what I mean? So, okay, here's the live shows, here's mistakes. Let's, like, come on, like, it's all about perspective often, isn't it? It's like, it's not that big of a deal. Owning your space, Marty, your environment matters. A messy setup kills your vibe and your credibility. So finding a spot with natural light, cleaning the background, and keeping it simple. Marty, I know you moved from couch to chair to table. Talk about owning your space and how that environment matters to making great content as a creator.
Well, for me, just mentally, this might be me because I'm weird. I started off on the couch, and I feel like, this is my opinion, like, maybe I reached my ceiling sitting here on the couch. So if I change my environment, maybe a little more professional setting, maybe looks a little better, maybe now I'm a little more confident with new people clicking on the video and seeing this.
Yes.
Opposed to me sitting on the couch, maybe they'll be more likely to listen for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do have to change your environment, like even myself, I don't know if you peeped at my content. I'm going to different gyms now.
I was about to comment on your content. We're going to come back to that a little bit later because I've been noticing some changes happening with your content, brother, and I love it. I think it's cool. So here's another one. Speaking to one, not many. I know, Marty, when I started in this journey of doing these live shows and these talk show formats, I was talking to a friend in the broadcasting industry, and he says, Keith, the secret is this. Don't think you're talking to an audience. Think you're talking to one person. Just imagine yourself talking to Marty on the other side. Imagine yourself talking to John. Imagine yourself talking to Jimmy. And that's what I find myself when I'm doing this show. I just pick out somebody in my head that I'm talking to, and I imagine myself talking to them. And I find it quite easy when I just think of that whole idea of talking to one person. And I focus on singling on that connection with that individual human being. You know what I mean?
Can you guys hear me now? Am I back?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother.
Yeah. So I could hear you guys, just couldn't hear me. But the whole thing of that question about live, and then this question.
Yeah,
I think me, I always like to, peel it away, simple it down, dumb it down, distill it. I think what people got to do is stop fucking thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. Nobody gives a shit about, people got their own problems to worry about. Yes. People are fucking worried about you fumbling a word on a video or being live. No.
Yeah.
They're worried about getting to fucking work on times. They're sitting in traffic. They're worried about their kids that are going to have trouble. They're worried about, they got their own problems to work. Nobody's worried about, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. So the next one here about helping.
Can I add one thing now?
Yeah,
just to counter what you said, Keith.
Yeah.
That's interesting about the speaking to one person, because it helps me when I act like I'm talking on like live television with millions of people. Like I really imagine like I'm in a stadium full of people doing public speaking. So that's what helps me. So
you know what though? Imagine though, pal. So you're right, but I'm suspecting if you're in a stadium of 100,000 people, you're still probably singling out one that you're really kind of focused on, and that translates to 100,000. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's probably kind of happens, right? Is that you kind of are you find yourself focusing on one or two in the audience, and you just kind of play to that person, even though you're playing to everybody, right? Johnny, the next one here you're really good at, which is this idea of moving with confidence. Your body sells your message, boys. You know, I'm very animated when I'm behind the camera. Johnny, you are. Marty, you are too. Stand tall, right? Use natural gestures. Confidence isn't just what you say. It's how you show up, right? So how you might dress, how you might present yourself, how you might move in front of the camera, how you might speak with your arms. But boys, moving with confidence is half the battle. A quick power pose or a few jumps before you record, you're going to feel the difference. Johnny.
You know, let's take social media out of the equation. You can walk into a room with confidence and everybody will recognize that real quickly.
Yes. Yep.
You do the same thing on a camera. Now you got it down.
Yes, exactly.
Just like I said, when people tell you, they'll be like, you walk like you're the man. No, I'm just walking. You think I'm the man.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I like that.
Well, you know what it is though, brother? When I have some variation of that, in my mind, it's simple. I don't say it because it's people who receive this wrong. It's because I'm willing to do what you won't.
Yes.
That's the difference. When you see someone, it's let's go like to a fight.
Yeah.
You got some fucking beast, 300 pounds, 6'5" dude, and then you got this little 150-pound wet, just angry, crazy motherfucker. You can see in the little guy's face, he's willing to die. The big guy is out of there. He's willing to do what the big guy won't do. Period. End of story. Yeah. Whoever's willing to die in a fight will win. Period.
Dress you for confidence, boys. Wear what makes you feel like a boss. Be comfortable, be professional, and be you. Right? Dressing is half the battle. But here's the thing with dressing, right? I don't know about you boys, but I know when I go to the gym and I got a pump on, I'm feeling a little better about myself. It's nice to put the t-shirt on, nice to put the jacket on. It makes me feel a little more confident. So kind of all goes together, right? Get my ass out of bed, get to the gym, get my heart rate up, or get some strength in so my muscles are feeling full, and then go throw a t-shirt on and some jeans and a nice jacket. That feels fucking great. That's about dressing for confidence. And that is going to move you from a 4 to a 7 instantly, 7 to a 10 instantly, boys. So again, and you're not going to feel, Johnny, you're not going to feel confident if you're not getting up and getting after it. You're not going to feel confident if you're fucking rolling over, hitting the snooze button, eating shitty food. You're never going to get to the idea of wearing what makes you feel good because you're not taking the first step, which is taking care of your own mirror first. Right?
Yeah, 100%. There's a little bit of a flip side of that coin. Yeah. It was a story about Mark Cuban.
Yes.
Highly successful dudes, we all know.
Yes.
So one of his mentors said to him, Mark, why do you always dress, just like whatever he said, a t-shirt, pair of shorts, kind of like having a joke with him. He looked at him and said, because I can.
Yes.
So there's the flip side of that. Once you're so good at what you do, for him, that's what made him feel confident and ready to rock.
Right. That's right. Boys, laugh at mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen. You got to laugh it off and move it on. The audiences don't want perfect. They really don't want. They want you. They absolutely want you. They want Marty. They want John. They want Keith. They don't want to know when Keith's fucking around with the equipment here and it's not working. They go, oh, Bilous is fumbling around making it work. Because you know what, John and Marty? The audience knows that we're trying. And you know what, humans just want to try. Humans want relatability. So they're like, oh, yeah, I see fucking Johnny stumbling around right now. And there's some humor in that. But there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's part of the problem, John and Marty, with overthinking things. And too often we don't start because we're too afraid somebody's going to laugh at us or we're too afraid we're going to make a mistake. The reality is this, boys, the good, the bad, the honest, it's all fuel for improvement. And people are going to accept the fact that you're going to make mistakes. Simple. It's actually as simple as that.
And the people that are ahead of you,
yeah,
they'll embrace your mistakes and tell you to keep coming.
Yes.
The people that are behind you, they're going to try to laugh at you and hold you back.
Exactly. And then the last
everybody wants you to be where they are, but who's the one that's engaging?
Yes. Yeah,
I agree.
And then last one, Marty, I know we talk about this all the time. Just post it. Johnny, don't overthink it. Hit publish, even if it's not perfect. Because if you're going to get into the game of producing tons of content, boys, I got to offer something. I'm going to offer to anybody listening right now who's considering becoming a creator. We are not living in the world of 1995 creators or 2005 creators. We are well past this idea of, well, I think I'll make a piece of content today. I don't think I'll make two. No, Just go spend time with your wife or your kids, actually. Like, just don't waste your time. Don't waste your time blowing a fart in the wind and thinking you're going to have success and have some dopamine hit.
And here's a nice thought with that too, bury it. Just post over the top of it. Once that thing gets a row or two down on your page, nobody looking at that.
Exactly correct. Because you know what, boys? Here's the reality. We are on a path to be producing about 580 pieces of content a week. Yeah. 580 pieces of content a week. So if you're stressing over one piece of content, gentlemen, well, you're already 579 pieces behind me. And you're about 500 pieces behind Johnny and 500 pieces behind Marty. What's the point? Just fucking produce it and post it.
Yep.
Like, honest to God. Like, because we are fast moving past the world of how many followers, how many likes, and waiting for the correct post. No, just get the content up there. Because if you don't, somebody else is going to.
Yeah, that's so true, man. That's so true.
I had this conversation with Piper last night, Marty, and she's like, we were talking with TikTok, and she's like, Dad, I think you should do like 3 or 4 posts a day. I'm like, no, I'm doing 24. And she says, I said, you don't want to know why? I said, because if I don't, there's a guy that's going to, and he is going to be the guy that's going to set the new trend. So we can all listen to the rules from 2005, or we can think about the rules that are moving into 2025. And I'll tell you one last thing I was reading about as well. We are going to rapidly move from the attention economy. Hear me clearly, boys. We are rapidly moving from the attention economy to the intention economy. What's the difference? The more we interact with AI, the more it's going to know what Marty wants and Johnny wants before they even know what Johnny wants or Marty wants. Because we're producing so much content and so much data, next October, Johnny's going to get a message from his AI device saying, hey, I know you want to go to Mexico. I've already booked a room for you. So we're like, what the fuck? How did you know that? Well, because you've done it for the last 10 years of your life. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's my intention. Right. So that's the future of advertising, boys, intention. But here's the point. Get your content up and get rocking and rolling. All right. Marty, let's get the fit tip going, brother. Let's keep it rock and rolling here, boys. Fit tip coming up with Marty, and then we're going to keep the conversation going on tips to keep your life going. Get after it, Marty.
Let's get it, man. All right, simple tip today. If you look for an excuse, you're going to find an excuse, right? Let's think about it. I know, you're thinking, that's simple. What you talking about, Chris? Well, give me a second. I'm about to tell you. A lot of people avoid doing leg work, lower body, squats, lunges, etc. because they have what? Bad knees, bad back, etc. The list goes on. But maybe the reason you have the bad knees or the bad back is because you have been neglecting those movements for so long, right? A lot of people, the best time for them to work out is probably in the morning before the chaos starts, before the kids get busy, wife, husband, they need stuff. So the best time for you to work out is in the morning. But what do you say? Oh, I'm not a morning person. Well, if that's the case, none of us are a morning person. Maybe John Andersen is the only one that looks forward to getting up at 3 a.m. But I know myself, I don't want to get up early, but I have to, right? We got stuff to do. We're grown. We're adults. Sometimes you got to do shit when you don't feel like it. But if you come up with this, if you look for a sorry excuse, you're going to come up with a sorry excuse, okay? At the end of the day, the result is not being met, right? You're not staying in the same spot. You're getting worse or you're getting better. So if you continue to look for excuses, you're just going to go backwards. So don't look for dumb excuses or you're going to find one. That's the fitness tip for today.
Don't look for dumb excuses or you're going to find them, according to C. Marty Fit. It's true, isn't it? The human brain always looks for a reason not to do something, don't we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The excuses are crazy. I don't want to single anyone out today. I'm feeling nice today. but some of this stuff, like, hey, yeah, I got to walk my dog in the morning. That's why I can't go to the gym. Like, what?
What's been the greatest excuse you've heard from somebody?
I think I brought one up the other day when the girl said her ex-boyfriend showed up to her house so she couldn't eat clean. was like, what are we talking about here?
You're like, what? What are you talking about?
I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A.
Oh man. All right, Jimmy, tell me, Jimmy Waltz, let's get to the 4 workout mistakes men are making over 40 that they need to fix. Marty, I bet you that there's guys that are coming across your plate, across Johnny's plate, that are making all these mistakes. And I thought we would talk about them this morning, which is smarter, stronger, and fit after
some older guys. I gotta coach them like children. I'm like, you older than me, man. Get it together, man.
Gentlemen, let's talk about hitting 40 and how to keep crushing it in the gym. Some people think it's all downhill after 40. Marty, but that's
after 30. I'm 30 now. I'm hanging it up.
Yeah, your body might need a bit more recovery time. Your joints. Fontana, are we talking joints? Nah, you might not love the heavy lifting that you used to, but you're far from out of the game. You don't have to train less. You just have to train smarter. I'm talking to you, Jeremy Cunningham. Get up, get rolling, brother. I love you, man. Scott Benzie. Let's break down 4 common mistakes guys make after 40 and how we can fix them to stay strong, athletic, and injury-free. Johnny, looking at you, brother. Number 1, skipping power training, like skipping lifting heavy. As we get older, many of us fall into the rhythm of lifting the same way. 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 10. I'm validating this in my head today because I'm doing 4. John, talk about lifting heavy, brother.
I think first thing people ought to realize is lifting heavy is relative to the person.
Yes.
And what it means is you're challenging yourself. For one person, challenging themselves might be 1 pound. For another person, it's 100. For another person, it's 1,000. Just using really general terms here. But the bottom line is this: once you, and I know this from personal experience, I have so many friends who got at that point where they're like in their 40s, and I'm just going to take a year off and let my body heal. Well, that body heals up to the point where it ain't coming back. Like they can never get, I shouldn't say never, but I would say I can think back to a dozen. And when they tried to come back, the layoff was so long, the body had adapted into, it would, like, the joints just wouldn't kind of come back to that place where they could do what they were doing before, not even close.
Yeah.
My advice would be never stop. You can always cycle your training, meaning go into more of an easier phase, but keep that blood flowing, keep moving. And I always suggest, rather than just, cut the volume back, still do what you do, just do less. Yes. And that way it allows your body to kind of, adapt and heal or whatever you need to do, but you're still staying strong. And that's the thing. Now what the currency is in old people is strength. They lose strength, their life comes to an end very quickly.
I like that the currency for old people is strength. The currency for old people is strength. That really is that's the game changer, isn't it? That's in many ways, that's like the social capital we should all strive for, eh, Johnny? As we get older, I want to be stronger than my peer across the table.
Well, think about this: when you're not strong enough to get up and down off the toilet by yourself, that's fucking life-changing.
Yes.
Life-changing.
Yes. Okay, so mistake number 2 then, and let's play off this one, Johnny, is lifting too heavy all of the time, right? So again, you talk about it being contextual, right? Know your limits, know if you have to, but we don't want to lift too heavy. So yes, we want to have powerlifting, but we don't want to lift too heavy all of the time. Boys, you want to lean into that for a quick second? Because the reality is, as we get older, we think we got to, I got to pretend I'm 20 again. No. John, it's all in context, right?
Yeah, what is heavy? Heavy for you at 40 is heavy than heavy for me at 30, very different than heavy at 50. Very different.
Yes.
And I was going to say too, muscle works like jump shots. Muscle works like talking to girls. You got to get reps in. You have to get reps in if you want the muscle to develop.
Yes.
So just going and lifting as heavy as you can, getting 1 reps, 3 reps, it's not really going to develop the muscle like you probably want it to look.
Yeah. Number 3, boys, mistake is ignoring isolation exercises. I'm curious to hear you guys' point of view on this one, but compound lifts like squats, deadlifts, and pull-ups are fantastic, but maybe we don't want to sleep on some isolation stuff. Adding volume to specific muscles can boost hypertrophy and protect joints. Comment, Johnny and Marty, on this idea of not ignoring isolation from time to time. John.
there's a time and a place. You got to realize there's no blanket rule here. You need to have those compound movements. You need to have those in as much as you can.
Yes.
Let's just say that you're a little banged up for God knows what reason. Great time to use some isolation.
Yes.
But when you can use the movements, think like this: compound movement, one rep gives you a whole lot of bang for the buck because there's a lot of muscles working for you at once. In isolation, that one rep gives you one contraction of one muscle. Your time is not as well spent, but there are always going to be times when you can't do that compound movement. Hell yes, use the isolation.
Yeah. Neglecting cardio. Now listen, I get it. Cardio isn't as exciting as weights. We don't look jacked when we do our cardio. But boys, here's the reality, right? We got a heart that's pumping in our body, right? After 40, metabolism slows down. Your heart starts to get a little slower, and your heart health becomes even more critical. So skipping cardio can hold you back, right? So you don't need to spend hours in the treadmill. I know John subscribes to, a different philosophy around cardio, and it's not suggesting he doesn't believe in cardio. No, you don't need to spend hours in the treadmill. You can get your burpees in. You can do mountain climbers. You can go for a walk. There's no reason, boys. I'm talking to you, boys, men. No reason you can't get up and go for a 10-minute walk 3 times a day.
10 minutes. I'm telling you, this morning, my shoulder's still a little banged up from my motorcycle crash last week.
Yes.
And, so I was like, there's no way I'm doing a burpee, but I need to get that blood pumping. I was like, this is the morning. I'm heads in the clouds. I could feel my shit is not quite right. So I went out to Terry's machine, put that son of a bitch, the gauntlet. It's a true revolving staircase, right?
Yes.
Put that son of a bitch on 10. And I just started going. Next thing, the first minute you feel pretty good. You get about 3 minutes. And then I bumped it down to 8 for the next 3 minutes. It was even worse than the first 3. Bumped it down to 6 the last 4 minutes, and I was by the time I got off there, my legs were pumped, but more importantly, all that shit that was in my head was gone.
Can we get that sound effect again?
That sound right there tells you you're getting the job done. When you're gasping for air, that's what you need.
Marty, we need a button for that sound.
I'm telling you right now, when you're doing some short, intense workouts, when you make some fucked up sounds, I'm telling you, those fucked up sounds tell you that your body's in a little bit of shock, and that's what the short, hard shit is about.
Oh, guys, 40 is not the end, Marty.
No, I was just gonna throw in there. It's so many ways to do cardio, so just pick what you like and something you can stick with. Don't say it's too boring. This and that. It's so much shit to do. You gotta like something.
Rotate,
or you can rotate it. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good attitude, Marty. It really is. Like it's just like.
Well, and think
say it.
There's no fucking excuse not to get moving. Boys, you're going to be sitting on your ass today at your desk. You're going to be sitting on the couch tonight. You're going to be sitting in the hockey rink, or you're going to be sitting around doing fuck all. There's no reason, man, this one bugs me, because there's no reason you can't get up and be moving for at least 30 minutes out of 720 minutes in a day? Come on, honest to God. So guys, 40, it's not the end. New chapter, right?
You gotta want to do it.
Well, you're right, Johnny. Yeah, I know, but that's yes. Okay.
Yes and no, though, because there's gonna be times where you don't want to do it.
No. Hold on. I was gonna say that very correct, Mark. Very correct. But you don't want to do the activity, but you want to make the progress.
Got you. That makes sense.
You gotta want. It's like I'm doing this I'm getting up and I'm walking around the ice rink, watching my son's practice because I want to live longer.
Yep.
You got to have that want, that deep want in your belly.
Yes. And, for those of you that are wearing, wearables or fitness devices, I use mine to help me get some awareness around my activity throughout the day. So it's not about whether it's right or wrong. That has nothing to do with it. What it tells me at the end of the day, how lazy I've been as a motherfucker. And that to me is what it's all about, right? So I know in my head that I like to have a number of quote unquote calories in the bank before I get out of the show here, right? So I know that as I start my day, I like to have around 700 to 800 calories of movement in the bank. For me, that tells me that, okay, If I do nothing for the rest of the morning, I'm already 800 fucking quote unquote measurable calories ahead of nothing. So it's just a measure. It's like a gas tank meter for me. And that's what works for me as a human being. It's a measurement gauge. It's not about right or wrong. It's about telling me that I'm moving. And that's what's important to me. Johnny, I can see you.
I love that. I love that. That's good shit. And I think if people would tend to look at this from a little different perspective, like, okay, I don't want to brush my teeth every day. It's a pain in my ass. But I want to keep my teeth, so I do it. So I don't focus on the act of brushing. I focus on the act that I'm 53, I got one fucking cavity, and I'm going to keep my teeth.
Yes.
Right? It's like, I don't, there's plenty of things on the surface that I don't want to do, but I want what that thing gives me.
Want is a funny word, man. I want. Fuck, I want a lot of things too, but
that's not how life works.
No. I want.
Well, because when people, the word need, people go, oh, you need to do that. People get all fucking butthurt. Well, you need to brush your teeth because you want to keep them.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
you need to take a walk for 30 minutes because you want to stay alive for your grandchildren.
Yeah.
But as soon as you add in the word need, people get their buttholes tighten up.
They do.
And they start paying attention to something else.
Yep. All right. Well, listen, let's keep rocking and rolling here. Johnny, you want to do a lifestyle tip for us today here, brother? I know you're feeling crappy, but I know you're still going to bring it, and I know you're going to do a good job bringing it. So let's bring it, my friend. Lifestyle tip of John Andersen. We're going to come back with Jorie Janzen. We're going to talk protein. What does 100 grams of protein look like? What does it look like? Johnny, let's get after it, brother.
Don't think about what you want to do, because most things you're not going to want to do, but think about what those things are going to give you in terms of your life. Literally, I don't want to brush my teeth. I need to brush my teeth because I want to keep my teeth for the rest of my life. Sometimes I don't want to do plenty of things, but I need to do them so I can have what I want. So think about this. This is kind of a funny play on words. As soon as you recognize that you need to do a few things on the surface because it's going to give you what you want down deep for the big picture, the whole thing starts to change. But realistically, don't get caught up looking at the surface act that has got you all butthurt. Look at what that simple act is going to do for the big picture. When you look past the shit that you need to do and you see the stuff that it's going to allow you, you're going to be able to want to do, the whole thing gets that much easier. Rock and roll.
All right, boys, rock and roll, getting after it. I want a lot of things. I want a lot of things, but I don't want to work. I don't want to work, but I want to eat 100 grams of protein, but I don't know what it looks like. Yeah, let's talk about protein here, boys and girls. We got Jorie Janzen joining us this morning. Jorie, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm awesome. How was the old weekend?
What's that?
How was the weekend?
The weekend was good. It was good. Yeah. Got to celebrate. My executive director with the Canadian Sports Centre is heading off to bigger things. I wouldn't say better. Canadian Sports Centre is awesome.
Yes.
But he's heading off, so we had a little celebration for him, and I didn't have dessert that night. I was a little disappointed. I wanted to, but I was too full.
I want to.
I wanted to. I also wanted to feel okay in my dress pants. I was not wearing leggings or sweatpants.
It's funny how reality is, right? When we always put these fronts on, and it's like, oh fuck, I got to go in the closet and put my pants on. They don't feel very good right now, right? So it's like,
well, that's a good strategy. Eat enough of the right food so that you have a hard time getting down the wrong food.
Yeah.
I know people are like, oh, the dietitian. I'm like, no, it has nothing to do with that. You don't know me if you think that's why.
I think sometimes, Marty and Johnny, that Jorie, you must live kind of sometimes with this life or this world of people are questioning what you eat and what you do because of what you do for a living. And John, probably in some ways you too, right? Which is you have food in your hand and people judge. Jorie, I got to think it happens to you all the time.
It does, but you know what? I have fun with it. I've messed with people all the time, just like sitting there eating a big chocolate bar in front of them and then leaving.
Yes.
And then later on having my lunch, it's, you got to play with it. It's just like being a twin. People like look and they look again, and we're like, we're not even related. You know, you just got to mess with people. It's fun.
Speaking of having fun,
It happens to me all the time.
I don't know if you guys, I think Marty saw, I don't know if you saw Johnny's Instagram clip this weekend, but there's Johnny sitting in the back of a truck with flesh in his bag, and he's eating and I think it was a Jordan, Johnny, calling you out there in the video, which is, what do you got there, Johnny? Well, all I know is that a plastic bag and flesh in the bag is you won't something along the lines, you'll never see me too far apart from flesh in a plastic bag.
Yeah, you're always going to find a Ziploc sack with some flesh within reaching distance.
It's unbelievable, actually.
And the thing of, you know, going back to the whole idea of, you know, people give you shit. Yeah. Well, I mean, I truly live what I teach. It's like, this is it. I've got a simple system, and I can, if you want to have more flexibility, I can build that in for you. But I live the side of the fence that's what people would say is extreme, which, okay, so I eat right, so I exercise regularly, and I get sleep, and that's extreme. I guess I'm extreme.
Yes, there you go. So hey, we're doing some different stuff here, Jorie, as we continue going on our conversational journey here in the lab, moving very much a change of philosophy from stopping making content and really focusing on driving conversation. And one of the conversations I wanted to get on the table today, and Walter, if you want to get the gamma ready here, is what does 100 grams of protein look like? And, you know, protein's not just about bulking up. It's about fueling your body. Protein regulates hormones, supports your immune system, and keeps you going strong after a workout. But here's the deal. You'll likely get enough protein already, but if you're active, lifting, or chasing your fitness goals, you might need to be more intentional about it. Johnny, the general guideline is 0.36 grams per pound of body weight. But for guys who train regularly, it's close to 0.6 to 0.8. Let's call it 1 gram of protein per body weight. Now let's break down what 100 grams of protein looks like, no matter how you eat. So for omnivores, 2 eggs, 12 grams, snack cheese, 5 grams, yogurt, 15, beef, 14, cow, 27, you know, and the list goes on. It sounds easy, right? So spread this out over the day and you're good. But Jorie, is it that easy to get that 100 grams of protein a day?
I would say, you could probably say it depends, but overall, it's yes, if you're planned.
Exactly correct, right? If you're planned. And that seems to be the hardest thing for all of us, which is accepting that we're probably not getting 100, and I'm picking a round number of 100 grams of protein a day. So Jorie, how do we plan to get 100 grams of protein a day? Speaking visually, Jorie.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could think of, I mean, it's not really cool if you're constantly out with people and you're taking out your scale and your measuring cup, right? Yes. So you can start. That's real dedication, right, John? But I would say that you know, doing that at first gives you.
And for the record, I don't recommend that because that wears people out.
I agree.
That's extreme.
Yes.
But in the beginning, you might want to, just to get an idea of what are you actually doing.
Then you can eyeball what a certain amount looks like.
Exactly.
Training tool.
Yeah, so it's a starting point, just like tracking. I don't think that people need to track every day. It's a tool to see what is it that you're doing, and then from there, reading labels, right? So if you can read, then that's awesome. That will be helpful. You can read labels, and it'll help you know, reading how much is that product saying is a serving, and then matching it up to the nutrition facts table. If you're doubling it or halving it, then you need to also do the math for their nutrition facts table. And then it's planning your menu. I think it's really a big one, is plan what you feel like you're going to be eating for breakfast, lunch, supper, snacks, and then create that grocery list based on that menu and make sure those foods are available. And then you prep as much as you can. Some things I like to leave last minute. Washing all my produce right away kind of makes it go bad faster. So I don't do all of that right away. But you can do a lot of prep in advance and preparing it at least the day before, and then you're ready to go. So if you plan it, you prepare it, you can execute it. And then it's not
that's so good. And here's the thing. We're talking about food. But if you look at, in general, when someone wants to be successful in any venue of their life, there's going to be some premeditation, there's going to be some forecasting, there's going to be some pre-planning. And so getting 100 grams of protein, you can compare that to any other task in your life that is really important enough for you to plan for.
Yes.
I wanted to add one thing, basically what they were saying, but I just wanted to add my twist to it. Just, you got to be intentional. And so if I walk up to you and I ask you, hey, what are you eating tomorrow? You should probably know, if you're really, trying to if you're serious about your fitness goals and trying to make a change, you should know what you're going to have the next day, a day in advance.
Jor, I want to simplify, because I know it's one of the things we like to do here, and it's philosophy that Johnny subscribes to. But really, it's as simple as if you eat 3 chicken breasts in one day, there's about your 90 grams of protein, give or take. Like, there's about 30 grams per breast. So men, if you're looking to hit 100, just as a baseline, you get 3 breasts in a day. There's 100 grams right there. Boom. And
also, there's little things that you can add too, right? And I was creeping on John this weekend. So, you feel included? You can add things to bump up, right? So this is nutritional yeast. I use it. I'll make kale chips, right? And those are really easy to do.
Yummy.
So you can have like 1.5 cups once kale is cooked down, and it's like nothing. 1.5, 2 cups of kale chips with a couple 2 to 3, 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast put into the mix with some olive oil. Bake those.
Yeah,
you're going to get 15 to 20 grams of protein.
Oh man, I just got hungry hearing you say.
So add it to your popcorn, right? So you can do some things to bump up those in between heavier protein meals. So that way you've got that in. You can use supplements to enhance, but there are different ways to bump it up. When you're making a smoothie or your smoothie bowl or oatmeal that you're making savory, add things like nutritional yeast, hemp hearts, ground flaxseed, and those will add heart healthy fats, but also increase the protein content. So if you're looking for other options other than only just like a single whole piece of meat, which is totally fine, those would be just some simple ways to do that.
That's brilliant. I know that in my journey through fitness, guys, I counted macros just so I was able to get a visual representation on the value of things. So that's how I learned what a cup of oatmeal equaled this, and a chicken breast equaled that. But now I stopped counting them because I have a sense. So to your point, guys, I think it's perhaps nice in your journey to find the philosophy on that. But there are tools in the market now, and I've tried another tool. It's called Cal AI. It's an app. You take a picture of your plate, and it will instantly tell you the macronutrients on your plate. So again, I don't know if I'm going to.
Does it recognize if you cooked your broccoli in butter?
That's my point, Johnny. So no, but you raise a valid point. I'm gonna challenge you, brother, and take a page from your book. I'm staying simple. So I got a plate, I got chicken, I got broccoli. Okay, I know I got 2 chicken breasts, I got 60 grams of protein, I got.
I wasn't talking about you, by the way, brother. I was just saying people in general, they're always looking for oh my goodness, I can cook this however I want to, take a picture. Oh, I guess it's good to eat.
Yeah, no, that's not my point. I'm just trying to set the table that there's tools that will help you visualize. Because and that to me is like the excuse factor, right? It's like, oh, I'm eating great, but should I not be eating that? No. Are we talking about that? No.
And if you're looking for a way out, you're going to find a way out.
Yes. Yeah. Jorie, one last. I want to stay here with you. Mike Smart's coming in with kale's nasty. Hemp and sunflower seeds are good sources as well. Pumpkin seeds, Jorie, for protein as well, right, Jorie?
Absolutely. I just have to comment though. I have a lot of people that say that kale's nasty. Try the nutritional yeast and olive oil and bake them, and you've got these crispy chips.
Totally agree.
Kids, my daughter will eat them.
Yeah.
If I'm not like saying, "Hey, I want some too," like you just want to make sure you're not on a first date because the kale can get this. But other than that, it's really good. Really good.
Yeah. In most cases, there's foods that people don't like that they can prepare differently and they will like. They're just not giving it a shot.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's okay if you don't like kale. Like, you're still cool. It's fine.
Jorie, in closing our conversation around visualizing in this value of 100 grams of protein, the hardest thing for vegans or vegetarians is gathering up 100 grams of protein. In less than a minute or so, how would you advise somebody who's making that path, who doesn't want to choose flesh, really be focusing on gathering? Because you got to be really creative, don't you, Jorie?
Well, you need to be resourceful and educate yourself, right?
Okay.
And so like I just did a quick little check-in because I have some meal plans that I create for my clients. And I mean, you just have to understand. So you could make a nice smoothie in the morning with your tofu and adding, some flax or whatever you want, or nut butter. And you can easily get 20 to 28 grams of protein in that smoothie. Right. Yes. And same thing with if you're combining foods. So maybe you've got some extra firm tofu that you're going to add to a stir fry with your edamame and some chickpeas. You can get your, 25 grams of protein, even up to like 30 grams, depending on portioning and things like that. So it's not hard to do. You just need to be educated in terms of how to put that together.
And if you're keeping flesh, every time you open your mouth, if you're some sort of flesh, that 100 grams comes pretty quick.
Yes, it absolutely does. Yep. Yeah. So there you go, guys. There's some tricks and techniques to help you get your 100. Ideally, you want to shoot for flesh, but as we know, there's many different ways of getting there. We got Mike coming in with people with thyroid issues should avoid kale completely. I think there are some that suggest that cruciferous foods aren't helpful for thyroid issues.
You have to look at, whatever, other sort of disease state someone might have. It's just like if someone has an allergy, stay away from that food, right? Yeah. So yeah, you absolutely, you need to take you as an individual and what's going on with your physiology, with your health. For sure. Like I would not suggest a 15-gram latte if someone has a dairy allergy. Right. So I definitely, if you have, things like goiter, if you have something, that involves other inflammatory markers for you, you have to manage that for sure. Preferences, culture, any sort of disease states, keep that in mind. These are just some ideas in a short segment, but yes, you have to personalize your plan. Absolutely.
I do think thyroid is one of the Western medicine's biggest, it's like cholesterol. It's like, thyroid issues, let's go subscribe some levothyroxine. And I'm not suggesting that nobody should be taking the thyroid pills. I just know that it just seems to be a quickly prescribed solution, Jorie Janzen, to thyroid, which is, I'm sure we all know somebody with thyroid issues. And I sometimes wonder, because I've been one of them, I sometimes wonder how real the thyroid issues are compared to the reality of what is actually happening. I don't know, just something I'm throwing out there. Jorie Janzen, comment on that?
I will say work with your healthcare provider and make some steps. But I would say maybe healthcare providers, because when you have a team, then there's some other expertise that can come in. So you're not giving yourself. Yes. But yeah, I think that having a team to work with it will be helpful in making those decisions.
Yeah. Go talk to your endocrinologist, right, Jorie Janzen? Go talk to the endocrinologist is what we're going to do here. So, all right, boys and girls, Jorie's going to get out of here. She's got a busy week ahead here. And hey, guys, Jorie's not going to be around next week. She's taking off I think you go to Mexico, Jorie?
Well, no, what's happening next week is I'm in Ontario at
that's where you are. Yes.
But then, after that,
I know you had a vacay coming up here. Yeah. So Jorie's got some travel coming up. So we're gonna get a bunch of great content with Jorie between now and then. She's gonna go take a break from us, and she's gonna come back wanting to spend even more time with us. So, Jorie, you enjoy your day today. It's warm here in Manitoba Nation. It's only -1 degrees Celsius, which is 35. So we are happy here today, man. It's like fucking sunshine weather. I got the shorts out. I'm going to go lay in the backyard for a few moments. Hey, Jorie.
Shorts. Oh,
no, you're not unless you're doing a cold plunge. No, you're not.
Jorie, you have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
All right, Jorie.
Thank you, Jorie.
All right, Jorie Janzen's getting out of here. We talked about how to get yourself 100 grams of protein into your body.
I'm gone too, man.
Yeah, Marty's getting out of here. Marty got a big day ahead of you, brother. You have yourself a good one. We'll catch you tomorrow, okay?
Yes, sir. I'll be on here tomorrow. See y'all, man.
Have a good look, brother.
All right, you too.
All right, Marty is out. And is Keith checking the horizontal comments? No, Keith is not doing a good job checking the horizontal comments, Melissa. Let me see here. Where are my horizontal comments this morning? Johnny, going to take a quick break, go for a pee. We'll reset the show.
Let's go, baby.
All right, pal, you get out of here. Okay, Johnny's going to go for a pee, and I'm going to go and reset the show here. Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. Coming up on hour 2, guys, Morning Loop Reloaded. we dug into this morning in the first hour how to be confident on camera. Yes, we did. We talked about 4 workout mistakes men over 40 need to fix. We talked about the fact that scientists have just declared the midlife crisis dead. I am going to go find my way over to the horizontal comments here to see if I can find them. There they are. Oh, there we go. Yes. Amy Reinhardt, I see in the horizontal. I missed you a little bit earlier there, but yes, I see those comments. We had Amy coming with nutritional yeast. I got to be honest, Jimmy, I haven't tried nutritional yeast before. I think I might have to go bring some nutritional yeast into the house. And I'm feeling kind of hungry after Jorie's conversation about kale chips. Mike Smart, I don't mind kale chips. And I'm thinking that I got to make some maybe later today. Get Lauren to make some this week. I could just go for some kale chips. Wow, that sounds pretty tasty. Okay, I got a few things we're going to talk about here in the second hour, guys. We're going to get into 12 ways to calm down fast. Yeah. Yes, Jimmy, I got tons of tabs opening. So, guys, listen, I got these new streaming glasses here. I'm wearing it for you guys right now. I got a couple cameras in them. I've shot some content from my point of view. We are going to be doing behind-the-scenes content on Instagram. Content. So you can find some behind-the-scenes content on Instagram. I'm going to be streaming onto Instagram from behind the scenes. So we're going to do some really fun stuff. And as we talked about in the first hour, we are just generating a content machine here. So if you're just dabbling with content, stop. You're just fucking wasting your time. A true story. Go spend time with your family. We are in an era now where you got to create content at scale. You got to do it constant, because if you're not, I'm going to, and so is John, and so is Marty. So we are in an era of content. Get after it. We're going to talk about time management tips for successful creators. We're going to talk about 3 tips to strengthen your shoulders. And and Stephen Timoney dropping in at the bottom of the second hour here. Guys, our goal here is we keep building the shows. We're working towards a 75, 90-minute show here. Johnny, I want to keep rock and roll, man. I have a funny conversation that I know you and I are going to have some fun with here. I'm just finding it in my notes in all of my tabs, because I have a few of them open right now. And let's see here. How you feeling, brother? You feeling a little better? You getting a little better as the morning's going on?
I wish I could say I'm actually starting to get cold, is what I'm starting to feel right now. But shit happens, you know. You just don't really recognize it, you know. It doesn't help you to recognize, you know.
Yes. All right, boys, let's go. Let's keep it going here, Jimmy. Jimmy and Walter, we're gonna get to 12 ways to calm down fast. Men, as you go through your day, and as you get all excited, there's sometimes that stress just takes over. But Johnny, stress doesn't care if you're in a meeting. It doesn't care if you're stuck in traffic. It doesn't care if you're juggling life at home. When stress hits, your body goes into fight or flight mode. Heart racing, shallow breaths, tense muscles. Listen, let's give you guys some tips to get on with your day, because I know to some of you it's going to sound familiar, and I want to offer some ways to fix that feeling. Johnny, breathe like you mean it. I love when I watch your counting in videos. When you are intentionally breathing, you're intentional, you know your surroundings. Talk about the power of intentional breathing, John Andersen.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the breathing, the intention, I think it's like, I guess I want to answer the question a little bit more just outside of breathing. Is just the fact that these situations come along and you hit it on the head. It's fight or flight. Something hits us and boom, we get this reaction. Well, generally speaking, you know, it's worse than what it appears. That's the way our brains were designed. Brains are designed to keep us alive. So the brain was designed to make us fight or flight. So, you know, you can look at the situation and quickly realize it's probably not as bad as you think, number one, and then recognize that you do need to calm yourself down with breathing, but also think about how much, you know, think about a little bit of gratitude. Think about how lucky you are in the situations. Think about, find that silver lining in the situation that stressed you out. And all of a sudden, the stress turns into abundance. And you're like, holy shit, you know, had I not gotten swept upside the chin with this, I would not have seen this thing that's over here. And, you know, when it comes down to it, opportunities, you know, they hide. And they're just on the other side of things that freak us out. But you got to stick in that long enough to see them.
That's why I really have enjoyed, as I continue to get to know you, my brother, I love your morning practice, because your morning practice of breathing prepares you for the moment when you don't expect it. You're stuck in traffic. You get into an argument with something, or negative energy comes in. Because you're used to sitting down and counting yourself in the morning, I'm suspecting it's easy for you to kind of go, oh, there's the moment happening, awareness, start breathing, walk myself through it.
It's, right? They talk about muscle memory, like in the gym. Well, your brain has the same type of memory. It's like, I'm pretty good now. Even Tara will commend me. Like, something hits us hard. And I'm like, of course, there's that, whoa, but then my mind immediately starts searching. And it's searching for the good inside the bad.
Yes. And
as soon as you find when you can actually make this a habit, then you don't see problems, you see opportunities. And when you see life this way, it's a different place to live.
You said the key word, habit, right? Mm-hmm. So I know we are massive believers in that, but the reality is that when you get into the habit of teaching yourself how to breathe, man, when you get into situations throughout your day, you're just going to get into that. Because I know I've had to teach myself how to do it, right? And then, Johnny, it's about owning your surroundings. And I know you're good at this as well. Tuning into yourself and grounding yourself. Practicing gratitude. Name 5 things you can see, or 4 that you can touch, or 3 that you can hear, or 2 you smell, or 1 you taste. And if you do that, Johnny, in the moment, it's a fast way to reset when your thoughts get out of hand. And I've shared with you, I use the elastic band, right? Mm-hmm. I know when I was going through my issues, like in the bedroom about, sexual performance, that my mind was all caught up. I'd fucking snap the elastic, go out, bring myself in, right? It's that idea of moving it or losing it, shaking off the tension, stretch, flex that mind muscle, and go for a walk, stepping away from a situation. John, talk about the idea of stepping away from a situation, especially when it comes to a relationship with Tara, right? With your wife, right? Stepping away, clearing your head, and then walking back into the situation, Johnny.
Well, another habit, when you create the habit of learning to respond rather than react, now you're keeping much more control of the situation. It's not going to get away from you. And I think when it comes down to it, as human beings, we get in this place where all we're doing is we're reacting to this, reacting to that. And when we're living in a place of reaction, we're living in that, that we're not living in the place that we want to live. And so I think when it comes down to it's, we have all of these habits physically that we carry out, but the habits mentally are actually more important. Because the habits mentally are the ones that keep us in that positive frame of mind, keep us grounded. So, forgive me, I don't remember the exact question. I'm just kind of going off in this direction. But when it comes down to it, is I think that the habits mentally, you couple those with the habits physically, and everything really falls into place. That I think the one thing that I want people to understand is that you have full control over your state of mind. Absolutely. And that's just and here's a drill that can really help. Okay, step away. That's what it was. Forgive me.
Yes.
And this is a drill. Do this just a couple times, and you can actually step away by thinking about this exercise I'm going to give you. Take a piece of paper, put a line right down the middle. Left side, write out the top 10 things that have been stressing you out over the last few weeks, few months. Then on the right side, write down the shit that actually came to reality. You're going to find about 75% of that list that stressed you out only lived in your mind. So when you get in one of those places, you need to step back and you need to see things from a different perspective. You can think about that drill. Holy shit. Most of what I stress out about never comes to reality. It only lives in my mind, which gives you a much better, I guess, a foundation to move forward and not be so reactive.
Yeah, it's so true. Write it out, boys. Write it out. One of the ways you might want to help manage your brain is writing stuff out. Dump your thoughts onto paper. I know I've gotten into a habit, John, I've shared with you, shared with our audience. I've gotten into a habit of sending basically a never-ending love letter to my wife, right? And sometimes it's going to be positive. Sometimes it's going to be open for conversation. I don't want to use the word negative, but I'm finding that if I can just continually write out my thoughts to my wife, it's a wonderful way to keep an ongoing communication. No judgment, just getting it out of your head. And listen, if writing is not your thing, boys, talk to someone you trust, right? Just get it out. Don't be afraid to get it out. Trying the butterfly tap is another way you might want to think about it too, is crossing your arms and tapping your chest alternatively, right? It might feel strange, but it's like the built-in stress relief button, because what science has shown, Johnny, when we wrap our arms around ourselves, it's like giving a hug, right?
Yeah.
So it's like saying, okay, I need to think about this for a moment. I got my arms around myself. I'm making myself feel comfortable. And then what it's also doing, John, is it's simplifying the chaos inside of your brain. So if your to-do list is overwhelming, prioritize what matters most today. And John, I want to invite the audience to accept the fact that sometimes our to-do list is this long, John, but sometimes we only get one thing done, and we have to accept that that's okay.
Well, and we got to ask ourselves, are we ourselves on our own to-do list?
Yes.
That's part of the problem. The top of your to-do list should be making sure that you're square, so that you can be your best, so you can do everything on that list, including taking care of your loved ones, that much better.
Yes. If you can, if you're and you're stressed out, one of the ways that we might want to recommend is go for a hot shower. Let it ground you, clear your mind, pause, slow down. We always talk about the cold showers here in the morning, and you get up, get your cold shower, and maybe throughout the day, it's not about getting clean. It's about getting into a hot shower, starting fresh, and feeling good about yourself so you can walk back out, look in the mirror, and Johnny, do a reset. Reset, right?
Well, brother, you said something a minute ago. Maybe writing's not your thing. Mm-hmm. And my response to that is, there are plenty of people, I'm that way too, but my response to that is, who cares? Exactly. You're not doing this to enjoy the writing. You're doing this to you're not sitting down writing a novel because you like to write. That's not what it's about. You're doing it because, again, it's like brushing your teeth. Most people don't like to brush their teeth, but they're going to do it because they want to keep their teeth. Well, spend 5 minutes writing, and it's going to put you in a better space.
That's right. Yeah, because John, the writing aspect is more so about the discipline of doing it. It's not about the results, you boys. Because I know I'm one of them.
It's the memory, the muscle memory of the brain.
Yes. I know often, like, okay, so what am I going to write about? Just start writing. Don't worry about who it's for or what it's about. Just start writing, and you're going to find magic in that. Slicing it thin, breaking big tasks throughout your day. So, John, I know we're the same. We get up and go, oh my God, I got a bunch of things to do. We kind of get worked up. Hold on, slow it down, start small, build momentum, and the rest is going to become easier. And then along the way, guys, celebrate those tiny wins. Don't be afraid to. No one small thing. Like John says, get your teeth brushed. You did something. Decide on your non-negotiables. Yeah. My big fan is this, man. I die on this sword. My non-negotiables. If I get them done, I don't care what happens for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Because my non-negotiables are done, and my non-negotiables for me, I believe, help me live a day longer. I don't care about fucking work, paying the bills. I just want to live a day longer. Everything else will sort itself out.
And on that level, I so agree with you, brother. And on that level, just like one of the things I tell myself, just keep moving. Like This morning, I was fucking wandering around like, oh my God, I'm just not in my normal groove was not quite there. I just keep moving, because if you're standing still, you're not making any progress. And when I say keep moving, you just keep going mentally, physically, because you'll find that groove, but you're not going to find it by sitting still.
Well, it's funny, pal, because I suspect you can see this like I can. I know that you're feeling a little under the weather today. So you know what I'm doing for both of us? I'm keeping us moving, and I'm keeping you moving, because I know if I can keep you moving, it's going to keep you moving through the hour and a half. You're going to feel better about yourself. I'm fine. I said to myself when I heard you first thing this morning, okay, my job here is to keep Johnny moving this morning, keep John's brain moving, because I know that if I can provide that to you, it's going to help you for this first hour and a half to get your day going. Right?
Yep. And I made sure that my shit was tight. Like I gotta just so you know, I gotta go 5 minutes early because I gotta get prepared for a quick meeting with someone across the pond. Then I'm go straight to a workout. Yes. I have my shit laid out tight because that idle time will not serve me today.
Yes.
I'm not going to be, sometimes a little idle time is time for me to think and create. That part of me is very, very dim today. So I'm not going to lean on it. I'm going to lean on execution.
Beautiful. So we're going to wrap the segment up so we can get Johnny out, keep this day going here. We got Stephen Timoney in the green room here, Jimmy. We're going to bring that in a few moments here. But listen, boys, we're talking about ways to calm yourself down fast today. It's Monday. You're starting the week off. You might be stressed out. Control what you can. You've heard. Ditch the rest. Write down what's stressing you. Write it down, guys. I don't want to write. Just fucking write it down. Text it to yourself, but just write it down, put the words out, and separate what you can control from that, and then put the rest aside. And then focus on only what's in your power. Talk to yourself. Go get in front of a mirror if you have to, boys, and talk to yourself like a coach. Just do it. Trust me. I would invite you to try that today. Replace the harsh self-talk with encouragement. Tell yourself, like John did this morning, holy fuck, man, this is tough. It's going to be a tough day, but I'm tougher. Master the stress before it masters you, because you have the choice. Stress is not a weakness, boys. It's human. How you react to it is entirely upon you. So if you're starting your day today and you're all worked up, get one thing done. Just get one thing done. And then use these tips to take control, show up stronger tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow you get two things done. That, to me, is what being a business athlete is all about, John Andersen.
And just remember, it doesn't have to be your best day. It just has to be another day that you show up.
It's exactly it. It's exactly it. All right, great conversation. Scott Benzie coming in with Daily Dairy. Great for a reference. So you compare the week, month, or even a year. Add that to the to-do list, sleep, mood, stress, etc. Excellent. Scott Benzie, I appreciate the comments. All right, Johnny, I'm going to get you out of here, pal. Get you out of here. Get on with your day. I know you got a busy one ahead of you here. How's your team coming together across the pond? Is it coming together good?
Doing well, yeah. We're making tons of progress. And the best part is it's just going to give us the ability to serve more people in different regions of the world.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I've been watching some great content you had over the weekend out there with Justin and the gang. You had good, some golf in too, did you?
Yeah. We always hit the course when I'm down there.
Nice. Awesome. All right, pal, you get after. You enjoy your day. We'll see you in less than 24 for tomorrow's loop. Okay, John Andersen?
Have a good loop, my brother.
All right, pal. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, okay?
I got you.
All right, pal. All right, Johnny's going to get out of here. We're going to keep the show going, Jimmy. I'm going to get to the segment here before we bring Stephen Timoney in. I want to get to time management tips for successful content creators. Look, here's the reality, boys. You're seeing a rebirth. You're seeing a reset. You're seeing a reemergence. And if you've been paying attention to the show, if you've been paying attention to my journey for the last year and a half, you're seeing things. Maybe you haven't been paying attention. I'm a big fan of a narrative. I planted a seed a year ago. You're just starting to see it blossom now. You didn't even notice it. I'm going to invite you to look a year ahead because you're going to see something even bigger. What you're going to see is you're going to see some pivoting to content that we are building the biggest morning show for men. The biggest morning show for men on the planet. But you know what, guys? There's something else also happening. I had a very successful career building a social media management company I sold for $50 million 15 years ago. I know that world of social media. I've also spent the last year and a half looking to the future of social media. And you're seeing it unfold right in front of you. If you are looking to be a creator for the future, you want to get a head start on everybody else, start a morning conversation. Pick a niche. Show up every single day. Doesn't have to be 2 hours. Doesn't have to be 3 hours. Pick an hour. You will own the narrative for your audience. You will control the narrative for your audience. Maybe you're an electrician. Maybe you're a plumber. Maybe you're a creator. Maybe you're a photographer. Maybe you're the leader of a niche community. I can show you how to own and drive the conversation for your community. How? I spent the last year and a half doing it. We've got an entire chassis underneath the engine. And as I said to you guys at the beginning of the show, if you're just going to fucking start doing content here, content there, just stop. Just stop. You're wasting your time. Because there's professional creators like me, like John, like Gary Vaynerchuk, that are making hundreds of pieces of content throughout the week. That's the world we live in, guys. We're not living in a world of 2005, which is, I just need to have a piece of content today. Oh, fuck no. Mornings in the Lab is a living magazine. Every single hour, there's new content being created and distributed and produced. Yeah, that's the future. So if you want to make content, you need to start making a ton of content. All right, Jimmy, I see it. We got 2 creator spotlights coming up with Stephen Timoney. I get it. But here's what we're going to do, Jimmy. We're going to get to time management tips for successful content creators. So Tommy, Walter, if we got a gamma up here, let's get after, boys. And if we don't, that's also fine. But let's do this. Let's get up to the 7 time management hacks for 7 time management hacks for content creators. How do I know this? Because I'm doing this too. Boys, when you have a daily live conversation, it doesn't start at 9:05. It doesn't start at 10. It doesn't start when you want it to start. It's not like a typical meeting. No, you're selling to your audience the fact that you can show up daily. It's hard to do. But if you want to do it, I can show you how to do it. Let's get after it, okay? Let's do it. All right, so managing content creation means balancing creativity, strategy, and execution. It's a lot. Oh, man, it's a lot. But you don't have to do it alone or even burn out in the process. So here are 7 time systems to help you take control. Work smarter and stay creative. Mike Smart, you paying attention? Ears perking up, brother? Ears perking up? Scott Benzie. Yes. I was like, what the hell is Dawley Dairy? All right, number 1, tackle your biggest tasks while you're fresh. And that biggest task, listen, Jimmy, Walter, I'm throwing an audible into our list here. That biggest task should be your non-negotiable, should be yourself. Not creating content. It should be getting into the gym. It should be lifting something heavy. It should be taking care of your heart. It should be taking care of your relationships. That's what's first. Then, and then only then, do you tackle your biggest work tasks while you're fresh. There's number 1, because your mornings are for your hardest, most important work, and it should be about you. Use that peak energy on tasks like editing, scripting, strategizing, working on your non-negotiables. Do the heavy lifting, boys, and the rest of your day flows easier. Mike, no excuses, brother. Leave the excuses on the table. Make your content work overtime. Yeah, every piece of content can be repurposed into multiple formats. We have developed, here's a clip for us, Jimmy. We've developed the anatomy of a conversation. We've stopped making content. We're only creating conversations now. And one conversation can become different types of content across different platforms. Create native content for different platforms. So that single video can become a clip, can become blog posts, can become carousel posts. Use tools like Notion, Trello to track and maximize your content library. Call me. Say, hey, Bilous, how do I become a daily creator? I want to have a daily conversation. Nobody says you have to start a show. But owning a daily conversation, whew, baby, you are going to own the narrative of your community. All right, start and set deadlines that push you to perform. Parkinson's law. Oh, man. Pardon my language, nation. I fucking hate Parkinson's law. Oh, I got a week to do the project. No, you don't. Get it done now. Get it done now. That's what Parkinson's law proves work expands to fill the timeline. You've seen it. It's Monday. Oh, the PowerPoint is due on Friday. Well, first mistake, stop making the PowerPoint. Second mistake, it's not due Friday. It's due today. Listen, there's tools like Gamma and all these AI tools. You can make a PowerPoint in less than 10 fucking minutes. If your boss is giving you a week, go get another job. Go get another boss. Go to the gym. Tighten your deadlines to stay sharp and reduce procrastination. Use shorter deadlines to create focus and finish faster. Automate the repetitive stuff. Stop doing the manual stuff yourself. Automate it as much as you can. And then let the technology handle the basics so you can focus on creating. Stop multitasking. Focus on one thing at a time. I still got to get better at that. Multitasking splits your focus and drains the energy. You got to dedicate the time to finish one task before moving to the next. All right. Time block like a professional, boys. If you're a big fan of time blocking, get after it. Break your day into intentional blocks for focused work. Assign those specific times for brainstorming, filming, editing, or resting, and treat your time blocks as a non-negotiable. True story. Number 7, Jimmy, delegate the task you don't need to your expertise on. If you're not an expert, stop trying to be one. Stop trying to handle everything yourself. Although, if you're a founder, like myself, you do want to learn how to make the pizza. That is one thing I will differ on this thing. If you are the founder, you got to do it all yourself first. You got to know how to make the pizza. You got to know how you want to make the pizza made. You got to know how thick the crust is. You need to know everything yourself before you delegate it and empower your team. So no, you do need to handle everything yourself first, but that should become part of your non-negotiables. And then over time, you hand it off to your team. All right. Outsource time-consuming tasks like thumbnails or research to freelancers. Protect your energy for creative work that drives your brand. Listen, boys, time isn't something you find. Time is not something you find. It's something you can take control of. Listen, you have control over 2 things. What you put in your mouth, what comes out of your mouth. That's it. Take control of it. So there you go. There is your 7 tips as a content creator, how to maximize your time, how to be effective, and how to win the day as a successful content creator in 2025. Because like I said, if you're just going to hear and dabble in a piece of content here, dabble in a piece of content there, you are wasting your time. It's time to start creating conversations, boys. That's where it is at. Okay, Jimmy, we are rolling, man, in our not new, but in our revised kind of exercise format here. We've got the time management tips for successful content creators done. Listen, if you have not subscribed to our channel, Mornings Live with Keith and Friends, I invite you to do that. We run a morning show for men, 8 o'clock Eastern time. What's our purpose? To help you guys get up and hit those audacious goals. Because if you hit the snooze, 9 minutes. Do that 365 days throughout the year, you're 56 hours behind the guy that's not. So I don't know about you. You want to be a loser? Hit the snooze button. Huh? Sorry, I'm just calling it out. You want to be a loser? Hit the snooze button because you're losing to the guy that's not. Yeah, true story. All right, Amy Reinert's coming in supporting the truth. It's true. Listen, this is just a brand new television network. That's all that it is. So too many of you guys are answering the ads from 2000 saying, yeah, I want to build a YouTube channel like 2000. It's fucking 2025, man. The future is here. All right, Jimmy, I think it's time now to get over to Stephen Timoney. So I am going to, Jimmy, I'm going to find your text, and we're going to do this together here on the show. I'm just looking here at my notes. Yes, Melissa, I'm now checking the horizontal comments. I have sucked at them, but I'm better at them now. So Jimmy, I'm seeing your stuff here. Okay, yeah, I get that there. All right, Jim, let's bring up Mr. Stephen Timoney into the lab. Stephen Timoney, good to have you here. Morning, brother. How are you, pal?
Good morning. How are you? How is everything?
I'm awesome. How are you, Tal?
I'm good. I'm coming through good. Everything's tickety-boo.
You're coming through great. The beard's looking great. The hair's all coiffed.
Oh, well, first thing in the morning, shower, get going, get fresh.
That's awesome. Well, then you've just set me up. Then I like to ask every guest the most important question that nobody else wants to ask. Stephen Timoney, what is your morning routine?
It's pretty basic. I don't normally shower first thing. I usually go for a walk first, but this is 6:30 in the morning for me still, so my morning's a little adjusted today.
Yes.
But usually I get up in the dark, have a pint of water. I sit and meditate for about 20 minutes. I typically then will write an email or a post that will go out, or I'll save it for later for about maybe an hour. I'll go for a little walk around the building, come back in, make a coffee, shower.
Wow. Stephen, where are you joining us from today? I noticed an accent.
I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, but I'm originally from Ireland. So there's a wash of different noises and sounds come out of my mouth.
What took you from Ireland to Vancouver, and when did that happen, Stephen?
Oh, it's 15 years ago now, a long time ago. Probably during the last financial crisis, I think back in 08, 09.
Okay.
The job I was in wasn't going very well, wasn't going anywhere. And I had an opportunity to come out to Vancouver on a 1-year work visa. And then when I got here, I started dating a girl and didn't want to come back.
It's funny how that works, eh?
Yeah. It's funny how it works. So I did my best to get into Canada and I stayed.
Fantastic. So I know we had you on last week. No, we celebrated you in the Creative Spotlight last week. For those that missed that, Stephen, set the stage. Who is Stephen Timoney, and what do you do to make some bread, to put some cash in the bank, brother?
I'm a performance coach for entrepreneurs who are stuck. Usually I help sort of career entrepreneurs, people who've been maybe at it for 2, 3, 5, 10 years, and they've got themselves stuck in a rut. I help them transform mental and emotional pain into peak performance. I help them get refocused and realigned. A lot of times entrepreneurs get stuck in what got them here will not get them there. They get stuck in the sort of what I call maintenance mode, where the habits, strategies, and techniques that they used to do that used to get them results are no longer getting them results, and they need to realign with a new set of standards, identity, and actions to get them to make progress and get out of the mental and emotional rut that they're in.
Wow. How did you get into it, Stephen?
Coaching in corporate and sales. For the last, I've been a coach now online for about 3.5 years. I've probably helped about 30 plus people one-on-one with other people, different communities and stuff. But I was working in corporate as a leader. I worked in sales as a leader. And the best part of my job was always helping a team of people or an individual break performance barriers.
Yeah.
And in some of those environments, people even called me coach. And it was always in the back of my mind, but it took me a long time to get around to it. I started a YouTube channel in 2017. It didn't really do much, but during COVID, during the blip, when we were all in the house, I decided to throw myself out there online, and I grew a pretty large Twitter following, and I was able to start working with clients. So it was exciting. So I've been kind of interested in helping people, interested in self-performance, interested in self-improvement, self-actualization for 15 years. And I've been coaching people throughout that time in those environments. But now I do it one-on-one as my business.
Steve, this is fascinating to me. Was there a pivot point for you? Like, was there must have been a moment, like an aha moment where you forced into this? Was it just an awareness where you recognized you were good at coaching, or people are like, Timoney, you're a fucking great coach, man. Can you coach me more? Like, was there, like, what took you there?
I think it was a stacking of confidence within the environments I was working in.
Yes.
So, So as I worked in sales, I got promoted quite a lot, and I got moved up. And then, but I don't want to get too deep into that. But working in a sales environment, I ended up with more work, less pay, and I didn't enjoy that. So that happens quite a lot. Even as an entrepreneur, it happens. More work, less pay.
Don't tell anybody our secret.
Yeah. Then I moved to the corporate world, and I was working in projects, and I kept being given responsibilities to run workshops and roll out processes and take people through new systems, and then run small teams through projects and pilot projects. And I was working with outside consultants. When I was working with the outside consultants, the people from the big four, the PwCs, Deloitte's, I'm working with these people, and I'm like, and I haven't got an MBA. I've got a degree from many years ago, but I'm not a big four consultant, a McKinsey. And I was working with these people, and I was just like, I could do that. But they're not doing anything different than what I'm doing, than what I do when it comes to performance, when it comes to task management, workflow. So I just had the confidence to start talking about self-performance routines and ideas, pretty basic, kind of almost like atomic habit kind of stuff I got started on. And now I definitely lean more towards the mental and emotional side of things, because at the end of the day, logically, especially if you're a business owner, you already know how to look after yourself. It's the barrier stopping you from actually taking action. That's the main difficulty. So to get back to your answer, it was a stacking of confidence, realizing that I was getting results, realizing that I was helping people, realizing I was getting that positive feedback within a corporate environment. So I decided to take it outside of that environment and test to see whether the actual market, the real market of entrepreneurship, thought that my ideas were valid. And so far, I mean, would I love to have been better, made more money and be a multi-billionaire? Yeah, but it hasn't happened yet. But I still got a lot of positive feedback, a lot of really great testimonials, and I'm really interested in continuing to grow my business and understand the game.
Hey, you're hanging out with Keith Bilous, Stephen Timoney here, Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. The only morning show to get your ass out of bed, boys. 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on LinkedIn, X, Twitch, all over the planet. And then when the show's over, we cut up all the content, and we're all over the social platforms. We're gonna celebrate a couple of creators here in a moment. You mentioned a word that I think is one of the most powerful words for us men, but yet we have sometimes such a struggle to get to it, and it's confidence. And often us men even are afraid to admit that we're struggling with our confidence. You had these little wins, little milestones, and we know confidence comes from little wins. You coach somebody, and they're like, yeah, you're pretty good at this, Steve. And you're like, oh. And then it happened again. You're like, oh. I'll lean into it for a minute here, Stephen, about the power of recognizing your own confidence and how it changed your path, Stephen. Because I know there's guys listening right now. I know that for a fact that with imposter syndrome, with insecurities, with worries about, people don't like me, I don't have any confidence. Lean into this, Stephen.
Yeah, I look at the things that I've done well, and I remind myself of them quite often. I even have a list in front of a journal of all my big wins in my life, and every year at the start of the year I will rewrite that list and add things to it. But it's the mental game of looking at the things that have gone well in your life, looking at the things that have gone well over the past week, month, constantly giving yourself that feedback loop, and looking for those milestones to give you confidence, looking for those green lights in your business. I've used to beat myself up. I heard earlier before coming on, you were talking about that negative voice in the head and in the mindset. And I had a drill sergeant in my mind for probably up to, I'm in my mid 40s now. So probably up until I was in my mid 30s, I had a yelling full metal jacket, drill sergeant in my mind. And he was always focused on the negative. He was always focused on the bad stuff. And I thought it was a positive, but to be honest, having that drill sergeant is not a positive. Sure, it might get you out of a few jams, but listening to that consistently is just not helpful. So I flipped to looking at my positives, to asking myself, well, what's good here? What have I actually done that is a benefit? And when you start looking at that, there's a lot of things that happen every single day that is actually a green light for you. And when you start focusing on your green lights, you start making more green lights in your business.
I like that you gave yourself permission. And again, I think this is the key learning from this part of our conversation, is that you gave yourself permission to write down your wins, read them, absorb them, and reflect upon them. And I say that because I don't know if enough of us men do that with intention and awareness. And what you're saying is that, no, I do that. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to look at, I was pretty good at this last week. I had this win. And even it might be an innocuous or minimal win, but achieving something. Like this morning, I had a 45-minute run. I felt fucking great about myself. I hated having to do it. But once I was done, I was like, yeah, it gave me that confidence, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's when I work with people, I typically work with people for 3 to 6 months. And one of the first things I do is collect data with them. It's like, let's go and look at all your big wins. Let's go and look at all the great things that you've done in your life. Maybe that could be moving country. It could be getting married. It could be having kids, starting a business, anything that's a positive in your life. And then I usually say to them, there's nothing that we're going to do most likely in the next 3 to 6 months that is actually going to be bigger or more difficult than some of those wins that you've already done in your life. You've already done massive, massive things in your business, in your life that are huge. And then things that we're going to do over the next 3 to 6 months are just not comparable. Because you've gone through divorces, you've got yourself fit again, you got a business up to six figures, 7 figures, 8 figures. Those are huge things. And to not actually give those things the glory of how powerful and how life-changing they were, is just diminishing your own power and your own light. So you've got to shine a light on your big things, and you've got to hold them close to you and remind yourself often, because those big things are confidence boosters.
I went through divorce, Stephen, and I can share with you that going through that experience, I found myself taking days, weeks, and reflecting upon the experience to gain myself confidence to get to the next week. Right? And I know it sounds so hooey-fooey, but it's true. I wouldn't climb some mountains to have those physical metaphors, Stephen, of going over something and then to the other side and then not being able to see the other side of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's that physical metaphor of that was yesterday, but I can't see what yesterday looks like. And that gave me confidence, right? And I think there's a lot of power in those little things, right? So
yeah, you got to celebrate your wins.
You do. You absolutely. Speaking of celebrating wins, we celebrated you last week in the Creator Spotlight. Nice little surprise came across your desk. You probably woke up, you're like, what the fuck's this morning show doing? Doing this crazy shit. So you gave us 2 creators this morning to Spotlight. And Jimmy, we're going to get to number 1. This is the first time we've done this. The first time we got a back-to-back Creator Spotlight, which I'm really jacked up and excited about. And today, number 1, building a business isn't easy. Scaling it sustainably, it's even harder. Most people think growth requires massive teams, endless overhead, and consistent hustle. They haven't seen what we're building here. But what if there was a smarter, leaner way? One creator who Stephen Timoney is nominating today has cracked the code, and he's helping others do the same. Back in 2006, this dude started Sandpaper Studio with a big vision, but quickly learned the traditional agency model wasn't for him. The result? He created the hub model, a revolutionary approach helping business owners land high-quality clients, scale without unnecessary overhead, and build businesses that fit their lives, not the other way around, actually. Today, I want you to meet Torrey Dawley, entrepreneur, consultant, and the creator of the Hub Model, a game-changing framework for modern business owners. Torrey helps founders and creative position themselves to attract top-tier talent. scalable businesses that align with their values. The new economy isn't about hustle nation. It's about smarter strategy. And Torrey is proof that you don't need to sacrifice freedom for success. So today, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is ridiculously excited to celebrate Jorie Dawley this morning in the lab. Stephen Timoney, the microphone's over to you. Why are we celebrating Torrey? What kind of impact did he have on you, which said to you and said to me, hey, Keith, we've got to celebrate Torrey today?
Well, I'll put it simply. He's my coach.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm celebrating Torrey, because he's not just a positioning coach, which I joined his program for that, but I've known him for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I would consider him a friend. And he's been a massive impact on my thinking around how to create a actual business from your content, from how you show up. And he's had a huge impact on the trajectory of my entrepreneurial career. So I've got a lot of respect for the guy, and he is a very valuable follow for anybody who's wanting to create a real sustainable business. I would highly recommend following and reading Torrey's content on LinkedIn or Twitter.
Yeah. Stephen, how did you and Torrey connect?
On X, on Twitter. Just, one of Torrey's sort of sayings is real, recognizes real. And I think that Torrey, I was posting content on there. I'll be honest, I was a little lost at times, but he was giving me good feedback in the DMs. And then from then we started a conversation. So if you're posting real content, trying to solve real problems, the right kind of people come into your atmosphere, your ecosystem, and then you start having these conversations with people in the DMs, and then you build relationships, and relationships turn into friendships, and friendships often turn into working partnerships, and whatever that may be. But yeah, you just got to get out there, and you can't post and ghost. You've got to post on your platforms, and you've got to reach out to people, speak to people, and then you end up meeting people who are extremely valuable for your business and for your life.
I bet you back in the day when you were posting on Twitter and doing your thing and started interacting with Torrey, you had no idea that your engagement was going to lead to a relationship where he's coaching you, and now you're celebrating him today, which only emphasizes the power of put yourself out there and start engaging other humans, right, Stephen?
Yep. It's entrepreneurship is an ever expanding network of strangers trusting each other.
Yeah,
it really is. You got to put yourself out there. You've got to make sure that you're using it to your benefit.
Yes.
It's every platform has its positives and negatives, but at the end of the day, relationship building is the same on life as it is in online. It's about having sensible conversations with people who you admire and going deep with them.
That's awesome. All right, so then Stephen, we got a second creator, Jimmy. We got the second one lined up. Man, we're just handing out the awards today. So the second creator that Stephen Timoney is nominating today on the spotlight is a strategist. So this guy he's the strategist leaders that call when their teams are burnt out, their leads aren't converting, and their strategies are stuck in a cycle of failure. Repeat, cycle of failure, repeat, cycle of failure, repeat. So with a mix of business strategy, psychology, and hostage negotiation techniques. Yes, nation, you heard me correctly. Hostage negotiation techniques. This dude is redefining how companies position themselves and close deals. This guy's worked with teams from startups to Fortune 300 companies. He's seen bloated consultants charge millions for cookie cutter advice. Now, he's helping leaders solve revenue challenges with strategies that actually work. This guy's a business strategist, a negotiation expert, and a sales trainer who helps teach companies align their positioning and boost performance. His work transformed businesses by creating value props that make companies the obvious choice for clients, training sales teams to close more deals with tactical empathy and silence, and turning strategies, Stephen, into actionable plans that drive results. Bad positioning, we know, costs companies more than missed revenue. People are like, what's this company do? It drains their teams and limits his growth. This fellow isn't just about fixing sales process. He's about giving businesses the tools to survive. If your strategy feels stuck, it's time to reimagine what's possible. And this guy is the guide to get you there. And the guy that I'm referring to, Jimmy, Stephen, his name is Sebastian Hidalgo. Yeah. So Stephen Timoney, Why are we celebrating Sebastian Hidalgo today? How did you guys meet? And what said, hey, Keith, we got to take the old morning to the lab light and sign on Sebastian today?
Gonna blow your mind. I met him because of Torrey.
Yeah.
So it's through that network.
Yes.
And Seb is probably, not only does he wear some of the best suit jacket and shirt combinations on his videos, he's a very well-dressed young man. Probably one of the most thoughtful thinkers that I've met around sales, around positioning. The guy's got a really bright future ahead of him. And I really I used to work in sales for many, many years, and I really love his insights from negotiation and from selling. And he's very valuable, and I love reading his content and watching his videos on LinkedIn. He's always dropping great insights. He's just a smart cookie. So if you're interested in positioning, if you're running a large company or a medium-sized company and you're kind of a bit lost and your sales and marketing team aren't talking to each other, Sebastian is the man to help you figure all that crap out, get your positioning on target, get your revenue up, get your culture positive, and get things moving forward.
Sebastian Hidalgo, we're celebrating you, my friend. Torrey, we're celebrating you. This morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, and how it works. We've had Stephen Timoney here celebrating both you guys. We now want to have you guys here in the lab to pay it forward and celebrate somebody in your network. And what I love about this, Stephen, is that, and I asked this question about 4 minutes ago, little did you know, you meet Torrey. Next thing you know, through Torrey, you're meeting Sebastian. And I can only imagine how that network has grown from that one relationship. Again, the power of networking, isn't it?
Yep. It's finding connectors. There's always somebody out there who's a connector. And I would definitely put Torrey in that category as of a connector, he's a hub. He knows everybody.
Awesome. All right, Mr. Timoney. Well, listen, we're wrapping up the segment, man. That was a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah, we got a couple folks who celebrated them today. Where do those guys live? Do they live on the west side of the country with you?
No. Torrey's in sort of middle America, and then Seb is in Europe.
Excellent. Okay, awesome. Well, we're going to create some content and get it up onto the network and surprise them today with our little interaction here. So that'll be fun getting that out there. And some closing words from you, Stephen. What do you got going on today? Where can folks find Stephen Timoney? How can they connect with you? What's the best way for Business Athlete Nation, LinkedIn Nation, Substack Nation, X Nation? How can folks connect with you, Stephen?
Yeah, I'm on X, Steve Timoney, STEVETIMONEY. That's my out on X because somebody else stole the proper spelling of my name before I got my handle. But I'm Stephen Timoney on LinkedIn. You'll see me there with a beard. Very similar profile picture on all platforms. And then on my website is stephentimoney.com, where you can check out my little handbook on resistance busting. I've got a podcast there as well that I post a couple of episodes a month. And that's where I am. I hang out mainly on LinkedIn, on X. I am on Instagram and Blue Sky and YouTube and everywhere else, but I only really post regularly on X and LinkedIn.
Hey, Stephen, quickly, what's your POV on today's social media and what platforms you're using, and what's your preference? Where are you finding winning, losing? Let's talk about that for a quick second, brother.
Currently, I'm finding LinkedIn winning. I'm finding video, short form video on LinkedIn is definitely driving a lot of impressions for me. It's a lot of conversations. X, where I have about 70,000 followers or just under, has kind of tailed off for me over the last 6 months to a year. It's not the same place, but it's where I probably hang out the most because I love shooting out quick ideas. It's a great place just to throw out your thoughts. So it's still very valuable. It's still a valuable networking tool. But for sort of that widespread, getting a lot of green lights, starting a lot of conversations, having your content actually do some work for you, especially if you're posting short videos, I'm finding LinkedIn is great for me currently. Yeah. And I said, I'm not posting on TikTok or Instagram currently. I just find both those platforms for my ICP, my ideal client. I've never really found them a traction builder.
Yes.
So I'm kind of sticking to places where I feel like I'm having more conversations with people who can actually work with me. And I'm finding LinkedIn and X are definitely those two hotspots for me currently. YouTube is on the horizon, I think. Well, I'm considering that because it's very evergreen. But LinkedIn is probably my number one for ROI for business reasons.
If I can offer something to you, pal, just hear me out for a quick second. You mentioned YouTube. I couldn't encourage you enough to get there now. Because there's a lot of men that won't.
Yeah.
And if you pride yourself on doing things that others won't, you're going to be ahead of the game. And I'll also offer one last thing to you. I don't know if you heard my diatribe, about a half an hour ago, but I've been doing this now for a year and a half. And I will say to any creator that's looking to build their future as a creator, you can own your niche by starting in the morning.
Yeah.
You control the narrative when you start the conversation.
Yeah.
I have figured out what everybody needs to know. I know the hardware. I know the software. I know the conversations. I know how to deliver this. So creators that are going, I'm a coach. I want to start a conversation. Come talk to Uncle Keith over here. So yes, not only have we started the old morning show for men, but underneath all of this, we've packaged up a really wonderful platform called Live Conversation OS, which doesn't create content. It creates conversations. And then we distribute them across all the platforms. So it's been a work in progress, but we're waking up today with a pretty significant platform. And I believe that as we continue moving into the future, live morning conversation, Stephen, is the last macro cultural time for all of us before we get on throughout the day. Yeah. Because once 10 o'clock comes to me and 10 o'clock comes to you, my time and your time doesn't really matter again. Right. But yet we wake up together in the morning. And it's the last time where I open up my phone, you open up your phone, and we can kind of have that morning conversation together before we get on with our day. So I would invite anybody thinking about becoming a creator or who's on the creator path, own the conversation in the morning. You will see magic. An hour a day can create content for the whole day until the next day. And you'll be ahead of everybody else who's afraid to make that commitment. So something to think about anyways. So, all right, Jimmy, listen, Jimmy, I got one last thing I want to talk about. Stephen, if you want to stick around for that's great. But I have one last conversation piece that I wanted to have today with Nation. And it was this whole idea that the science of sleep and sex, is it real or just a clever move? Now, you want to stick around for this?
Sure, I'll hang on. Yeah,
let's do this. Yeah. So listen, gentlemen, let me hit you with a scenario. Boys, ears up. We're talking sex. Your partner turns to you and says, Stephen, I can't sleep unless we have sex. Now listen, I know it sounds wild. I might be that guy sometimes. I'm like, I just got to get some sex so I can go to sleep. But what if there's actually some science to back this up? Let's dive into it. All right. So sex as nature's sleep aid. First, let's talk facts. A study from the Journal of Sleep Research found, Stephen, that partnered sex with an orgasm helps you fall asleep faster and improve sleep quality. Why? Well, prolactin release. After partnered sex, prolactin levels spike. This hormone helps you relax and drift off. The oxytocin and touch. Physical intimacy releases the cuddle hormone, which promotes relaxation. The dopamine rebound. Your body counterbalances the excitement of sex with a wave of calm, making sleep much easier. But Stephen, Jimmy, Tommy, here's the kicker. Masturbation or sex without an orgasm doesn't have the same sleep-inducing effects. So if your partner claims only partnered sex works, there's some truth to it. But here's the truth. What's real and what's not? Now, let's get to the heart of it. Is he genuinely or is she genuinely sleep without sex? Or is this just a well-crafted excuse for more action? Listen, guys, here's the reality. Trust and communication are key here, and there are a few key ways to figure it out. Test the alternatives. Suggest some melatonin, meditation, or even a sleep study. Maybe you want to set boundaries, Stephen. Maybe like, no, honey, I need to get to sleep. Or look for patterns. Maybe the need has started suddenly and seems too convenient. You might need to dig deeper. But here's the thing. If it's real, what's next? If this is a legitimate issue, it's not the end of the world. Here's how you can tackle it together. Explore other sleep aids, encourage a sleep study, communicate your needs. The reality is, at the end of the day, guys, this isn't just about sex. It's about trust. It's about communication and finding solutions that work for both partners. Listen, if this is genuinely helping you or your partner sleep and you're okay with it, roll with it. If not, it's time to maybe set some boundaries. So there you go, Nation. Stephen, sometimes we need to have sex to go to sleep, but sometimes our partner might just be tricking us. Stephen Timoney.
I think it's a good plan.
It's a good plan. And you know,
every night.
We talk about here in the show life expectancy work, Stephen. It's part of the fun we like to have here, and it's a code word inside of our house where science has shown that if we're having sex with our partners more often than not, she or he is going to live longer. So boys, go spend some time with your partner today or tonight and make it a non-negotiable. Find some time with your partner because you're going to live a little bit longer. And listen, oxytocin, you're going to get cuddling, you're going to get loving, and everything is going to feel a lot better for everything. So the next time somebody says, I need to have sex before I go to sleep, maybe there's truth to it. Or maybe they just want to love you. There you go. There you go. All right, Jimmy, I got it done, man. I got it all in here today. Oh, yeah, and 3 minutes overtime, Timoney. Are you a hockey guy? You're from Vancouver. Are you a Canucks fan?
I'm aware of hockey, but I've never fallen in love with it. I'm a hardcore soccer football guy. So
of course you are, because you're an Irishman. I would expect nothing less. I would expect nothing less from you. All right, Stephen Timoney. Well, listen, I appreciate you. You have yourself an awesome day. I'm going to say goodbye to Business Athlete Nation. I'll walk you out. What's one thing you're going to get done today, brother? Right, say it out there.
I'm writing an email right now that's going to go out before 8 o'clock a.m. my time. I'm going to get that done, and then I'll be doing content, dropping on LinkedIn. I'll be going for a walk in a bit, and then later tonight I'll be doing all my planning for the week and doing my weekly review to get all my green lights up on the board.
Yes! Brother, will you come back and hang out with us again sometime?
Yeah, anytime. Let me know.
This is awesome, man. I love your energy. I love your energy. I love what you brought to the table, and you have an awesome day. Go get that email done, okay, pal?
Cheers. Ciao. Have a good one.
Stephen. All right, Jimmy, we're going to walk Stephen out of here. And we got Scott Benzie coming in here. Yes, it's because Uncle Keith said so. We need to have sex. True mother story. Yeah. Scott, I think you got to get your wife tuned. Listen, this is a morning show for men or men's wives. Yeah, so if men's wives tune in, like, oh, that's what guys talk about. Yes, Benzie, that's what we talk about, brother. We talk about having sex with our wives, our partners, and getting after it. What a great show here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today as much as I enjoyed producing it and creating it for you guys. We had a lot going on. Oh, we got a lot going on. We talked about 8 tips on how to be confident in front of the camera. We talked about how to calm down. We gave you guys some time management tips for successful content creators. We talked about 100 grams of protein. What does it look like? What does it look like? What does 100 grams of protein look like? And why did I pick 100 grams? Because all of us men, whether you're 200 pounds or 100 pounds, you got to get at least 100 in. Shoot for a gram per pound of body weight. So if you know what 100 looks like, you're going to know what 200 is going to look like. We also talked to Stephen Timoney here. We celebrated a couple creators today. And we ended we talked about it. Is the midlife crisis dead? And we also got into this idea that if your wife or your partner is coming to you saying, I need sex before I go to bed, there might be truth to that. Yeah, true story. All right. Jimmy, looked at the watch. Looked at the old watch. And I think we're going to get out of here. Yes, Scott Benzie, I have your show loud and proud at work. I love it, Scotty. I love it. Have everybody at work subscribe to this channel. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to get your ass in bed. Amy, I saw your comment. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. We're working hard to create great conversation, not content. Conversation for you, nation. Conversation every single day. 8 o'clock Eastern time, X, LinkedIn, Twitch, YouTube, behind the scenes on Instagram, behind the scenes on TikTok. Yeah. Behind the scenes from these glasses, my Meta Rays. Subscribe to me. Go find me on Instagram. Come find me on TikTok. Come find some behind the scenes stuff. We're going to get out of here. Yes, Jimmy, we got a full-time show today. Big time. Let's get out of here. So on behalf of myself, Uncle Keith, Scott Benzie, Mike Smart, Amy Reinert, Christopher Keach. What's going on, Keach? Good to see you there, brother. Jimmy. We got Tommy in the community. We got Melissa in the backstage here. On behalf of everybody in Mornings Lab with Keith and Friends, see Marty Fit, John Andersen, my lovely, lovely wife, Lauren. I love you, baby. You guys have an awesome day. Have an awesome day. We'll see you in less than 24 hours. Again, here in the loop. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. I'm the guy. I'm Keith. We'll see you guys out of here. Hold on. Nope, that's not the right button. This is the right button. We'll see you guys. See you guys tomorrow.